Hey guys, chapter 93 has landed, and it was definitely a fun, interesting chapter when I read it, but I'll talk more into it and recap it very briefly within the review. So without further ado, let's crack down to the intro, but don't forget to check out my Patreon that is appearing on screen, and you can find the link as well down in the video description down below as well. Don't forget, if you're new here, don't forget to give this video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell. But let's crack down to Mission Yozakura chapter 93 review after the intro. So let's hit it. Chapter 93 of Mission Yozakura landed only 19 minutes ago, and I just managed to finish reading it, and it was a very fun and interesting chapter, to say the least. Not just the fact that it opens up practically where last week's chapter left off and everything, but it was a fun tea ceremony, shall we say. So it opens up with Tayo just looking at a cup with tea in it, and Yusa's just going around saying the colour and the fragrance, it's the Yozakura Senkei tea ceremony school. It's a self-defense technique that was created to check for poisons and expose spies overhead via the reflection. And Futaba just accepted the praise, saying that you know quite a lot. And we just get a little bit of instance of how the tea ceremony is an art of hospitality, and each and every action has a purpose. And those well-honed skills also work in the world of spies. What, in a way, can be true. I don't know much about the Japanese art of tea ceremonies, but by the sound of things, it does seem to be the case. Okay, so we have Tayo there, just looking around, and Futaba's just saying, there's no need to hold back, just please drink fully, but Tayo's not having any of it because he knows something's up. And even Shinzo, Keigo, and the younger brother all know it's obvious that it's like some Kuriichiro would do. That Futaba is also quite ruthless. One of the spies has said, I don't detect any toxins. The composition of the cup is ordinary clay in the glaze. Maybe it's not a trap after all. And he just drinks it down in one go. And Futaba just replies, oh, how brave. And then he slurps it, and then the cup breaks, and a big gust of wind just knocks him out constantly all the way through. And Tayo just said in his mind that he knew something like this was going to happen. And it was the Nemoryu sleeping dragon. So she then goes into explaining what this stage of the silver rank exam is. And it pretty much is a game of, can you drink this tea? It's pretty much, you can pass the exam if you're able to drink this tea. Because she explains what each of the stage of the exams are. Obviously, we had Shinzo with the body. Now we got the technique with Futaba. So Kuriichiro is going to be the mind. I'm curious about what his mind stage is going to be, because that is the one I'm going to be curious. Definitely when he's got Tayo coming in as well. So he's definitely going to be playing it up a bit, if you know what I mean. So we learn a little bit more. So she keeps on making teas and shows what happens when... And she just prompts them, saying use techniques for breaking the locks and systems and try to surpass her stage. She just says that it starts now and that they have roughly around an hour. So Tayo's just sitting there looking at the cup, wondering what he can do. We have one spy that is apparently good at Aiki poisons, and it was still no match for him. And we have Usa there, just sitting there gently, and just pretty much goes, "What a well executed tea ceremony." And Futaba just says, "Thank you." So Usa has passed the stage, and was given a Yozakura manju bun. So everybody else was looking and stuff like that. But then we have a group of spies that say that they're going to force Futaba to do it, but then she was shut down to the point where they all were back up into their scene ceremonies, and then it cuts into a brief little flashback of the chapter itself, where she talks about that she took the exam, that she was promoted to silver rank when she was 8 years old. Her oldest brother was busy on an assignment, so I took the exam first. The exams back then were much cruder than they are now. For the sake of my siblings who took it after me, I needed to show the examiner and the examinees that if by some chance something unjust happened to them, then they would have to deal with me, the elder sibling. I have protected my family from unjust, so I won't be unjust to others. Please give your best one more time. I'm not asking you to do something impossible like taking on Aiki. If you look hard at the available information, you will see the way in due course. And it then cuts to Tayo rethinking about it, going by each and every action, the locks and the systems. Lucky because of the nature of the work, the available information, and Keigo just realized that he probably has. And he just went that he should have failed those other people that tried to attack and forced her to sign their cards. And Tayo might also figured it out because he picked up another cup and asked, "May I drink this?" And Futaba just goes, "Be my guest." And that was the chapter. And that was actually a fun and interesting chapter. I did state from last week's review that something's up with these teas. And at first I thought it was going to be poisons or something on those lines. But it was very interesting to see the actual outcome of this being something that you have to figure out a way to drink this tea without activating any of the abilities within the tea. You are like this dragon attack and whatever, and it just makes it so interesting to that point that it just shows how much effort has been thought into this. Because Tayo knew from the get-go, and we knew this as well, that Tayo knew something was up with these teas, and I think a lot of us that's been reading Mission Yozakura as well knew exactly what was going on at this time as well for this chapter, and it was very prominent as well, showing it at this point in time. But it just shows that it's one of those things that had to be done. It's a stage that is luckily Tayo will be passing. I have a strong feeling he will be passing this stage. Definitely with the way the end of the chapter is. But now that we know the different stages in this exam are. So we had Shinzo with the body stage. We've got the technique stage run by Futaba. And the mind stage is definitely going to be Ichiro's stage, and that is the one I'm more curious about seeing. But at the moment, we need to see how the results for the Futaba stage of technique is, because that is the one that I'm more curious about. But other than that, this chapter was very fun, very heartwarming, very comedic in some aspects, but very, very mind-boggling as well. Curious about where it's going to go at some stages as well, and it just seems to me that it's got something to do with this with what Tayo's figured out, and I'm curious about how Usa's done it as well, because it seems she's been showing very similar traits to how tea ceremonies are, but it's curious about how it's going to go with that. But at the same time, this Tayo must have figured something out, and I'm curious about where that's going to lead. Where is that going to land at this stage and at this point in time? That's what I'm really curious about at the moment. But other than that, comment down below what you liked and didn't like about this chapter review down in the comment sections down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now. See ya. Another great and fun chapter again, guys. I really did enjoy it this time around, and I thought it was going to be one of those chapters that would be type of mind-boggling, but it was very curious and interesting indeed of how things went in this and how this stage is playing out as well. Don't forget to check out my end cards that will be appearing closer to the end of the video as well, but also don't forget to check out my Teespring. That is part of the list of affiliate links down in the video description down below as well, along with don't forget to check out my Patreon as well. You can find the link appearing on screen as well as find the link down in the video description down below as well. And also, if you are a returning subscriber, don't forget to hit that like button, and then if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and press the bell, and then click all to keep notified with all my videos for the foreseeable future. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. See ya.